Viewer, we are talking to Mercy Irungu, who is a relationship therapist. And this is a week when we are having lots of conversations around love, especially romantic love. And we trust that out of this conversation, you get some inspirations that are going to be wisdom for you. Again, just to remind us about Friends of Hope, we would want to invite you to participate, to partner with Hope TV when it comes to just supporting us so we can be able to keep the programs coming to you and going to far out places. And our paybill number is 933-933. Our account number is FOHTV. Paybill 933-933. Account FOHTV. The gift that you're inspired to give will go a long way in making sure that Hope TV continues to reach many people and to the glory of God and to your blessing, of course. And again, reaching out to your practice, Mercy. Because people would want to know that. They would want to know that if you can work on maybe 4 qualities, make sure your relation, there are people who are listening, some of them are considering relationships. So they are in a place of thinking. Others are in relationships, so they're in a place of forming. But others are already in marriage, so they're in a place of living. But we always would want to know, maybe if I focused on 3, qualities or 3 things, like my entire marriage, my entire relationship would be way much better. Because sometimes I think we focus on too many things, from your experience. Give us like 3 things that once you focus on this, then your relationship is bound to a good track.
Wow. Okay, now, I've talked about it earlier. Know yourself. That is the first thing, which is the bottom line. Once somebody knows who they are, then everything is bliss. So that once you have another person in your life, they already find ready person to love.
Okay.
Yes.
It seems from the emphasis of know yourself, it means that's core.
That's the core.
If you go into a relationship when you're a stranger to yourself, then you'll experience a lot of strange things.
Exactly.
And because you've talked about assertiveness as well, but as an important aspect.
Yeah.
Please say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, to be assertive is always expect anything. Not to be straightforward and you're not looking sideways. It's always good to expect even bad things to happen. For example, even in love, sometimes you might overhear something bad about your lover, for example, or even you see them doing things that are not pleasing to you, or even they just do something unexpectedly. For example, they will tell you, I've gotten a job in Japan. That is huge. It's huge. I'm transferring myself from this country to the next. And so someone would crash. No, just be assertive. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So let people know even a love relationship is not glued to be blissful or straightforward. There are crooked ways. So be ready. Be ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, crooked ways.
Yes.
One of the things that has really invaded the relationship area is dishonesty.
Yeah.
And people who are dating have their own versions of dishonesty. People who are in marriage are now facing more and more unfaithfulness. People are cheating on each other, and it's both men and women, right? But maybe for the sake of positivity, Mercy, is there a way you can cheat-proof your marriage?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us.
It's difficult, but it has now to be real because you protect your own. I know we are living in a very fast-paced world, competition, social life, social media influences, trends, and everything that you can think of. But are we not humans? We are humans. What is God saying about us? That we love one another. Again, what is God saying? That we have to be honest, you know? What are the fruits of the Holy Spirit, you know? We are guided by that. So, lovers also should be very spiritual. What is God saying in this? What is God saying in this relationship? Because you see, if a relationship lacks trust, then there's no relationship, you know? And I would like to say this, even when dating, for example, those people who are dating today, I always recommend they do a due diligence. Due diligence means, where does your lover come from? What do they believe in? What is their genes, genetics? Let's not overlook, so that we have a smooth relationship later. You know, it's good to do a due diligence, because love sometimes would lie to us. Let us dig deeper so that we prevent things from running away. And so, as you had asked me, know that we are living today, we are humans. And it is a decision someone will make. You see, like the way we decided today, we are coming here. That is exactly what lovers will do. My wife will go nowhere. I'll try my best to love her. My husband is my project. I'll try my best to love him. Of course, you cannot. The rest you leave to God, isn't it? But let us try our best.
Okay.
Because if you do not do that, we have already talked about communication. We've already talked about know yourself. We've already talked about honesty. So cheating, why would cheating be if all those things are there? And I would like lovers to be going for clinics. You know, when you're sick, you go to the clinic, the physician checks your blood test, you know, recommends some. Please, see marriage and family therapists, you know, seek for help. These things are there. Seek for help. Let them tell you how to plan your life. When it comes to intimacy, when it comes to communication, people struggle with that. I mean, nobody is perfect. So just like the way people are going back to school to do MBAs, you know, to do PhDs, what are you doing to go to school or to seek a professional when it comes to your love, so that you can prove that it will not have cheating, dishonesty, divorce? Yeah, so let's be preventive. We always recommend that. And that is why, by being in control.
Okay.
If a lover is in control, I don't think cheating would be.
You know, Mercy, there are people who say that they've done their best. And even people around them, they say, honestly, that lady has done, she's a great wife. That man is a great husband.
Yeah.
But even after you've done your very best, you still find that somehow the sin of adultery still comes to your door. So how does your best look like in that circumstance? I mean, what are you supposed to do when you've done your very best, but still the sin of adultery comes to your door? What do you do?
So if it is, let's say it's the man who's been so loving to his wife, providing, good communicator, know themselves, and maybe the wife is not responding, then what else can we say? There is nothing we can do to the other person. You can only do good to yourself.
Okay.
You just say, enough is enough. I've tried my best. it's not working and I feel tired. Let's seek for help. That is the first thing.
All right.
Because that is where we are. If it's the other way around, same thing. If you feel, if someone, we talked about knowing yourself. You know the way you affirm your children and tell them they are the best? Same thing is expected to the lovers. Tell them they are the best. They are the best lovers ever. They did this, they did, that one, seriously speaking, I don't see why someone will get tired. Because you see, we only need affirmation. We only need to be told you're doing good for you to continue. Let's give an example of a race. If people are running in a race track and you hear, Mercy, move, you put a lot of, you accelerate. Same thing to marriage, same thing to relationships. Praise. Let's praise one another so that we accelerate the love.
Okay.
Yes.
God. Because some relationships have been rescued by God
Yes.
or by spirituality. Some others have been ruined by spirituality,
Yes.
right? Some people would just, let's say, as a spouse, they're always in the church. Church takes priority. It's the work of, it's higher work. You at home, just chill, until the work of the church is done, right? So you find that in that way, the people at home feel like, this church, But there are others also who maybe were living a very wild life. They never considered God, but the moment they began to embrace God, somehow their homes have gotten better, right?
Okay.
So I just wanted to speak to the place of God and the place of, your spiritual life when it comes to having a good relationship.
Okay. Yeah. We psychologists say that if you find your spouse or your lover in church all the time, from morning to evening, then they have a mental condition. Yeah. Because they are running away from reality. Yes, they are born again. They are Christians, yes. But something is amiss. So that is, and it's good that people should know signs of somebody with a mental illness is being in church 24/7. Another one is I know we believe in God. And for sure, praising God is every time, everywhere. But again, family, God said family is the first thing, is it? And for every family, God should be in it. And so, how is your family entwined with God? Where have you placed God in your family? Do people have places where they pray, for example? Altars in their homes? When do people pray? And after all, lovers who have put God first, I don't think there is nothing impossible with God if both they are believing. But again, this thing of I'm praying, in my practice, I've come across people who tell me, I've prayed about this thing for so long until I'm getting tired. And so there's something I would like to say here. You have to work two things. You got to pray and you have to work on yourself because they go hand in hand. And that is why God is answering your prayers. And again, He wants you to take a step. But there's that laziness of not taking the step because God has already answered. You're just seated. You're not even aware. So I would bring a question to our viewers and ask them, what do you think God feels when He has answered your prayers and you're not aware? So people should be aware. Oh, God has answered my prayers. this is what I should do. Work on it. For example, if it is lack of communication, pray and then start looking for strategies of improving your communication. You know, it's that is it. Yeah. And for those that have prayed and God has answered them, it's the high time to give thanks and also mentor other relationships that are struggling, you know, because surely they are there. Yeah, mentorship, for example, going for programs, switching on like today to listen to relationships and education, because everything should be educative. Yeah.
People go through very difficult things.
Yeah.
Relationships, some people.
Yes.
Some people, of course, have very high experience, you know, very good experiences. They just have maybe good stories to tell. But there are people who have been battered. They've been broken in relationships. You know, they began when they were on a high. Right now, they are in distress in the name of love, in the name of a relationship. And those people sometimes, they are hopeless. They don't have the confidence of, say, maybe loving again. No? They have no faith in love. Anything, let's talk about everything else, but about love, about, you know, marriage, no, I'm not going to talk about that. I mean, can those people like love again?
Yes, they can. You see, I was in a forum whereby couples were discussing about love and marriage. And what came up was love and marriage is just a nice word. You know, love is a good word. Love, marriage, very nice word. What is in those words? That is what matters. I'll give an example. Lovers are loving today very well. They're good, loving. Tomorrow, there's no money. You see? Tomorrow, there's mourning. They've lost someone. The other time, loss of job. They're still lovers, remember? They're still lovers in marriage. So what am I saying? There's sickness. Sickness has come. Still lovers in marriage. Children have come. Others are on drugs. You know, others are deviant. Others stepped out from school. Life issues, life stresses, and people are still lovers in marriage. So can you see outside issues affect love and marriage? And that's what I would like people to understand. Love is there, you know, love is still there, but there are other factors below that are causing and affecting love. And so what do we do so that we don't get drowned in life stressors for the sake of love? Intervention is very, very important. When you realize, for example, if your spouse has lost a job, sit down, think about how now the family will survive without the job. If the family is mourning, is going through loss, sit down, know how the family will survive without the loved ones. I mean, so many things. It's a diverse thing. And so this thing of love, we cannot hide love, and then we're still humans. We had talked about we are still humans. Things will come, things will get us on the way, but how strong the foundation is will determine. Even if the wind comes, the waves come, you know, there's that song we normally sing. Even if they come, they will not take you away. You will still stand. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that sometimes you encounter.
Yeah.
People who say that I've been battered, I've been cast down, and I'm not venturing there again. But you say that it's possible to do that.
It is possible.
Now,
And yeah.
Yeah, and you've hinted to this, a very important experience, that love competes with so many things.
Yeah.
Love competes with money. Love competes with ambition.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the present day relationships are suffering is lack of time. You know, you love one another, you know, but you have no real time for each other. you know you should have, but somehow you've gotten on an ambition or on a work, a job that just will not allow time.
Yeah,
The effect of that.
definitely. You see, when you're speaking, I've remembered a friend of ours who is a gynecologist. And he's so busy. But on his off days, takes off 1 month with his family. Yeah, because you see, people must compensate. And that's why we are saying it's okay. Whatever job you're in, it's good. But know that there's another responsibility. Giving love to your loved ones, creating time. And that is the biggest challenge we have in the current world. There is no time. Actually, today we are talking about love. What about kids? What are kids telling me? The children are telling me, Daddy, I saw him 2 months ago. Mom has traveled. So kids are being parented by the social media, by the phone. I know that will be another topic of another day. So if the kids are complaining they cannot find their fathers, their mothers, what about love? Then love is already taken away. And so it's not late. Create time for your lover. That one, it goes without saying, because that's the time you bond. Bonding. That's the time you know the likes and the dislikes. That is when you play. I've seen a couple who've been married for 40 years, I think. 40. And I can tell you, they love one another. Yeah? Real love. They don't even want to make noise at each other because they have an arrangement. She doesn't like noise. He doesn't like this. So I thought they're only 13, 15 because their love was so fresh. They challenged me. Yeah. So I think we need to be in that level. It is, you see, we always say this. If you need something, if you admire a certain couple or a certain relationship, please get time, sit down to know what they have invested. Because you cannot reap what you did not sow. So if you sow battering, if you sow cheating, if you sow resentment, then that's what is going to be on the plate. But if you sow good things like bidding, affirming, playing, time, then you will reap handsomely. Yeah.
You definitely are a big advocate of ideal love.
Yes.
Just from your conversation, you are high on love.
Thank you.
And finally, it's the question of creativity, especially I would say this, specifically amongst Christian relationships, because sometimes Christianity love relationship is not associated with some freshness, some creativity. It's kind of wrapped in traditional practices, wrapped in some kind of dullness, and that's the kind of reputation it has. Can you finally tell us about the role of creativity in having a good love relationship?
Yeah, of course you will reap. Being creative, there's a lot of things that are found. For example, Christians, we are all Christians. I'm a Christian, married for the last 19 years now. And what has saved me and my husband is we don't get used to each other. We are very dynamic. So that traditional pastor has said, then it's the high time to break it and embrace what is on the table. It is like being in the world and you're not there. I mean, let's just be in the world because that's where God placed us. And so the role of creativity is do things together. Couples, lovers should do things together. That is number one. Another way of playing this creativity is going out. Okay, I don't know what level our viewers are, maybe small children. adults, teenagers, look for ways of just the two of you somewhere. And it's always good to run a home like a company. Strategize, have strategic plan for the next 5 years, strategic plan for the next 10 years. Go somewhere, sit, review. It's like a company, isn't it? Because once we run our families like we are not existing and we are existing, then we don't get any results. And so I would recommend Christians to pray, of course, and to believe in God, and also to be romantic. Yeah. There is, you see, we are in this world. I'll give a very simple question. I had breakfast today, and I know I'll have lunch, and I'll have dinner. So if I don't have dinner, what will happen? I'll feel hungry. So romance. If people are married or they're lovers, then there are things they need to do and to prepare. If I want to eat a nice chicken, I'm going to prepare it very well. How are you preparing your love? We cannot be lazy lovers. We gotta spark ourselves. Because life is for the living. I had talked about that. Life is for the living for Christians. And Christians, we are blessed because you have the peace of God within you. You've already identified your stressors, dealt with them. Your body is ready for love. It's ready to go out. It's ready to cook. It's ready to... And just allow me to talk about emotions in marriage. I would recommend people to work on their emotions so that they accommodate the other person to love them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely, Mercy, come out very strongly as a love advocate. And I'm sure that positivity has also impacted our viewers. Again, thank you for being on Spotlight one more time, talking about the way to have a good love relationship. And viewer, lots of insights coming to us from our guest on how to build a good love relationship. And what comes out is that it is possible. You just need to be intentional about it. It won't come easy. But if a good relationship is what you desire, then just move out and get what it takes because it's available. Once you're intentional about it, you will get there. So a good love relationship is possible. This season, this month, this week even, being Valentine's, make sure you do something to, again, affirm the person you love, especially for those who are in marriages, those who are in relationships. Do something to affirm the person you love. It's an opportunity for you to strengthen your relationship. Again, we are grateful for your participation here on Spotlight. Again, reminding us that you can be part of the support team, the support base of Hope TV by sending your support to us as God inspires you on this PayBill number 933-933. Account is FOH TV. 933-933 account is FOH TV, and that way you become a friend of hope as we continue also to do our best to make sure that your friendships with God, your friendships with one another, your friendship even with yourself is strong. This is the month of let us love with all our hearts. This has been Spotlight. Thank you for watching.